Coming up, more COVID-19 cases are reported across eastern Kentucky today as the state approaches 13,000 infections.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. There have been 55 cases of COVID-19 in Laurel County since the pandemic began. 33 of those are active cases right now. And in less than 1 week, there have been 27 new cases. WYMT's Connor James talked with the county's public health director about the uptick and the factors behind those numbers.
In the last 2 weeks in Laurel County, there have been roughly the same amount of COVID cases that there have been in the 2 months beforehand.
And we have seen a spike probably since Memorial Day.
Mark Hensley is the public health director for Laurel County. He's been at the department for 30 years. He says there have been a multitude of factors that are contributing to the new spike.
And a large part of that, we feel like, is a combination of there's a lot more testing sites. The capacity for testing has increased in Laurel County.
As society moves forward, he says testing remains key. As they test between 400 and 450 people a week, right now many people are experiencing something called COVID fatigue.
And our society at this point, they're just fatigued with the whole concept of COVID. They want to be out with their families. They want to be out at the ballpark. They want to be at the lake, they want to go on vacation.
But if people do not do that safely, that's when you start to see that resurgence of cases. At the facility, 6 people there are part of the regional COVID-19 response team. They cover the 8 counties in the Cumberland Valley region.
They make that initial contact with that index case, then they interview that person, kind of rewind their life for the last 14 days.
And as the number of cases has essentially doubled in the last few weeks alone, in Laurel County, that work is crucial. In a county of about 60,000 people, the percentage of cases is small.
You know, wear your mask when you're out in the public and maintain that social distancing. Wash your hands frequently. If you're sick, stay home.
But the precautions that need to be taken to make sure that it stays small still need to be followed. In Laurel County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Hensley goes on to add that they keep in constant contact with first responders and officials about the case numbers and the new developments. Kentucky is nearing 13,000 cases of COVID-19. Governor Beshear announced 170 new cases today, along with the deaths of 6 more Kentuckians. At least 518 people have died from the virus, but more than 3,400 have fully recovered. We are learning more tonight about the increase in COVID-19 cases in Harlan County after being one of only 8 counties yet to record a positive case. That changed last month, and Harlan County now has 15 cases. 9 of those are active. 7 come from the Tri-Cities area.
When you combine now the 7 of the 9 cases that we have in Harlan County that are in that area, it's easy to see when you go from a youth ministry group to a school to a church, how you can get over 100 people in quarantine.
Mosley wants to reiterate there is still only 1 shopper allowed per household in a store. Well, the events across Kentucky canceled due to the pandemic continues to grow, and the World Chicken Festival in London is now among them. Some may not know the festival itself is a nonprofit organization, and all food vendors are nonprofits. Besides not having crowd control and being able to properly social distance, these vendors will miss out on a huge opportunity.
I mean, some of these nonprofit organizations, this is their largest fundraiser that they have. I know one particular nonprofit one year raised over $10,000.
Organizers also say there are too many unanswered questions as to if they can protect everyone and provide a fun and safe experience.
Well, it was a a pretty gloomy day here in the mountains, and we're going to continue to see that heading into your Thursday. We're going to take you up to some cameras, though, first. As you look along Interstate 64 up into Moorhead, they definitely saw the gloomy conditions, a few rain chances. However, they were on the warmer side today. They saw a little bit of some sunshine. You can't really see it here on that camera, but that did help warm them up a little bit earlier this afternoon. But we struggled to get into the 70s today. In Jackson, only got a high of 69, the low of 61 this morning, so that cloud cover really didn't allow those temperatures to move all that much. Average is right around 82 for the high, and the record of 91 that was set back in 2018, nowhere near the average or the record. Temperatures are still pretty mild out there, anywhere from about the low to mid 60s. We're already dropping into the 50s in Harlan and into Wise. That cloud cover, though, we won't see those temperatures drop too much heading into the rest of the evening hours. Still seeing some stray rain chances across the mountains, but mostly dry conditions as we head into those overnight hours, and we're going to continue to see the gloomy conditions and cooler temperatures heading into your Thursday and a little bit into your Friday. But the first day of summer is Saturday, and it will start to look and feel a lot more like summer by the time we get into the weekend. I'll have a look at the rest of this week and the weekend's forecast coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. One man is behind bars and another in critical condition following an assault Tuesday afternoon in Hazard. Officers with the Hazard Police Department were called to East Main Street yesterday morning. When they got there, they found a man who had been assaulted and had a serious head injury. EMTs responded and took the man, who was not identified, to the hospital, where he was then flown to UK Hospital in Lexington. We are told the man is unresponsive and in the ICU. Jesse L. Couch was arrested today and charged with attempted murder and tampering with evidence. Meanwhile, Kentucky State Police have arrested 2 people in connection with a violent assault in Floyd County. They did not release the suspects' names. This comes after troopers said they received a call Friday morning about a person lying in the roadway on Bobcat Boulevard and Betsy Lane. The victim was shot and is still in critical condition. Deputies from the Wise County, Virginia Sheriff's Department say a man possibly overdosed behind the wheel and drifted into the middle of a busy highway. It happened nearly 1 week ago on the Kentucky-Virginia state line. While other officers were figuring out what happened, one deputy determined the driver was likely experiencing a drug overdose and administered Narcan. The driver was taken to Norton Community Hospital, where he was treated and released. He is cited for driving under the influence. Governor Beshear wants to reinstate Connect. It's a state-based healthcare exchange. That means it helps people find health insurance. Former Governor Steve Beshear, who you just saw a moment ago, started the program in 2013. Connect allowed Kentuckians to buy commercial health plans or sign up for Medicaid. This tied into the Affordable Care Act passed under President Barack Obama. 4 years later, Republican Governor Matt Bevin got rid of the exchange while in office. Bevin said it was too costly. But Governor Beshear argues costs will go down and more people will have access to health care.
We can reduce the cost of premiums to Kentuckians if we go back to a state-based exchange. We can also improve efficiencies, and we believe we're going to be able to offer more opportunities to Kentuckians.
Governor Beshear submitted a declaration of intent to the federal government wanting to bring back the program at the start of 2022. He says it cost $5 million to launch the system, but after the first year, it could save Kentuckians almost $9 million each year. A federal grant is helping expand and improve a major roadway. The $55 million grant will expand an 11-mile stretch of the Mountain Parkway from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. The goal of the project is to reduce travel time, keep people safe, and improve the flow of goods and products between I-64 and eastern Kentucky.
With Wolfe County, we're like a midway point between Lexington and Hazard, and Lexington and Pikeville, which are the 2 biggest cities, I think, in southeastern Kentucky. So it's really good for Wolfe County.
Wolfe says he hopes this will spur economic growth in the area. The project is expected to be completed by 2027. Now to a traffic update here in Perry County. Transportation officials want drivers to know the Hazard-Jackson exit coming from eastbound Highway 80 to Kentucky 15 will be closed for several hours on Friday. The entrance ramp to westbound Highway 80 will also be closed. Officials say They are blacktopping the ramps in that construction zone. Through this pandemic, doctors have adjusted to best suit the needs of their patients, offering drive-through clinics so patients do not have to leave their cars. But now Frontier Medical Associates is taking this one step further, bringing the care to your home. WYMT's Emily Bennett has more on the new mobile clinic.
Last year, if you told doctors they would see patients in their parking lots, they probably would not have believed you.
This epidemic opened our eyes and made us probably more flexible.
Now, Frontier Medical Associates is not only offering a drive-through clinic, but a mobile unit.
Instead of that patient or that individual leaving their homes, basically we will get to them.
They bought an ambulance and turned it into a COVID response vehicle.
It's not designed to provide critical and acute care. So this is nothing like an ambulance service.
They will test for COVID-19, but they will also do routine exams, with nurses staffing the unit while doctors stay at the office.
Via telehealth, so the nurse would go ahead and pull up the otoscope machine and go ahead and look in the patient's ear. And from there, she would take pictures.
They can also record heart and lung sounds and send them back to the doctor.
We thought it will fit our need and demand very well.
Trying to keep their patients safe at home. In Prestonsburg, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
They hope to start using the mobile clinic next week. They will travel anywhere in Floyd, Johnson, Magoffin, and Martin counties. We'll be right back.